received the money she gave and built the church, and consecrated it 150 years ago this week. John Strachan, come forward.
I am the founders of the parish church,
and right good now is she.
You're very, very good, not be it understood. My donation is a high church spree.
We're very, very good, not be it understood. Our donation is a high church spree.
Though married to a priest, I shall give you when we cease 5,000 crowns for free. On condition you erect a Gothic church that's quite perfect, and never charge a curate fee.
What never? What never?
Well, hardly ever.
What never charge a curate fee? So many preachers and one orders from the church of his own parish church. Many preachers and one orders from the parish church.
I am the Bishop John Strachan by name,
And a right good Cishecki.
I certainly have backed the family compact for a Christian colony.
He certainly has backed the family compact for a Christian colony.
On St. Simon and St. Jude I shall bless the church and food at Holy Trinity, with rejoicings for the poor in my purple vicinity. I shall never take a big fat fee.
What never?
Never.
What never?
Well, hardly ever. Controversy about an anonymous woman. This must be made clear.
All that I insist on is that the church be dedicated to the Holy Trinity, and that it be forever open to the poor. But as for whom you appoint, that's entirely up to you. And do not seek to know my name. Like so many women in the church of the past, I am called a naughty mother.
Well, now that I have this church, I shall appoint me a good, honest, and learned gentleman who can run the parish and teach in the school. Let me see. Henry Scadding. He's a man of mature years, sober and good. Henry Scadding, he's the man.
I'm Henry Scadding with D.D., in charge of Holy Trinity, whose praise his people loudly shout.
And we are his parish and his people and his sprouts. And we are his parish and his people and his sprouts. His parish and his people and his sprouts.
When I preach from noon to 5, my congregation stays alive. So I stack my prayer book at St. James's flouts.
And so will his parish and his people and his sprouts. And so will his parish and his people and his sprouts. His parish and his people and his sprouts.
Thus in God's first help here, give democracy a cheer. Hierarchy's dying, have no doubts.
And so say his parish and his people and his sprouts. And so say his
I don't give a damn for the low church louts.
And neither do his parish nor his people nor his sprouts. And neither do his parish nor his people nor his sprouts. His parish nor his people nor his sprouts.
But in controversial mire, to my study I retire, and write the history that Toronto touts.
And so do his parish and his people and his sprouts. And so do his parish and my people and my sprouts. And so do my parish and my people and my sprouts. His parish and his people who are higher than his people and his sprouts.
And so he did serve the parish well. For over 30 years, writing his books in the building there about Toronto of old. And the parish prospered. After the fire of 1849, even St. James Cathedral worshipped at Holy Trinity. And so it was that the first synod held in Canada was held in this place on the 1st of May, 1851. Gosh, I wish we had a narrator for these history bits.
I guess I'll be the narrator then. I've been washing these floors for 150 years. And I know a thing or two about what's happened here. The stories I can tell you. Well, there was the time. Oh, there's a document, is there? Well then. Under Scadding, the church was remodeled. They added a choir and all this painted decoration. And don't think I didn't clean up a bit of spilled paint. A parish school for both boys and girls was built. After Scadding retired, his assistant, William Stewart Darling, took over, and wasn't he just a darling then? The services became more ritualistic, with chanted responses, plain songs, vestments, candles, and hints of spoken bells, provoking a reaction among the middle classes, who now came to the church.
We are now the middle classes.
They asked for his removal in favor of his assistant, John Pearson. Was then that conflicts with the diocese began. The next incumbent, aren't you amazed with my memory, was Derwin Owen, who brought inward and outward illumination. He lit the church's old sign, still there on the outside wall, with electricity, so it was visible from Yonge Street. He started special Lenten services on Wednesdays that attracted hundreds to hear leading speakers and preachers of the day. More work for me it was. Owen's successor was John Franks, a Brantford boy, who studied sociology at the London School of Economics, if you please. And he came back with a wife. Patricia was her name, the parish rose. Back in Canada at Holy Trinity, they faced the hardships of the Depression and began working with the unemployed, setting up a hostel in the parish hall, serving soup and sandwiches, and working for the CCF. Needless to say, dearies, with all these activities, conflicts with the diocese continued. Canon Frank began a program of counseling, started the Good Neighbors Club, opened the parish hall as a servicemen's hostel in the Second World War, and promoted the arts in the parish. The Lenten services alone attracted 16,000 people a year. But Canon Frank got in trouble, he did, by inviting clergy of all denominations, not just Anglican, to preach here at Holy Trinity. There were, of course, more conflicts with the diocese. 60 years ago, Patricia Frank, the parish rose, you know, established one of the traditions of this church, the Christmas story, that has run continuously ever since. The Frank years were indeed a noble episode in the history of the parish.
John Frank, come forth.
When I was a lad from Brentford town, I went to school in a cap and gown, at Western first and then Trinity, where I captured all the honors with a good degree. I did so well, they rewarded me by making me the rector of the Trinity. As curate at Grace on the Hill, I could not swallow that middle-class bill, so I went to study sociology, as curate at St. Martin's for philanthropy. My cure of souls did so well for me, that now I am the rector of the Trinity. I came back home to depression woes, with my wife Patricia as the parish grows. Of the Christmas story she was the chef, while I was superactive for the CCM. That political involvement was so bad for me, that I almost lost the rector of the Trinity. At Lenten services I took aim at the other clergy of whatever claim. Their sermons got me into a spot, for though the pews are free, the pulpit's clearly not. The diocese was so hard on me, that I almost lost the rector of the Trinity. Now, lay people all, whoever you may be, if you want to rise in the hierarchy, if your soul's not tied to a kneeling stool, be careful to be guided by this golden rule. Be politically safe, shun theology, and you all may find a place in the episcopacy.
Well, almost all may find a place in the episcopacy. So 100 years came to an end, the hair was getting gray, and perhaps there's no better motto for it than God helps those who help themselves.
Psyche or to Pan, would come to me for spiritual liberation. I was a therapeutic curate then. We have psychosis, sighed the maid to simple, which traumatized the men who suppressed the tears. We all have fears, here half the parish trembled, but in analysis the end was near. I had my cures, no mental breakdown floored me, for I was loved above all other men. Led clerics, canons, bishops, all before me. Oh, me. I was a well-adjusted curate then. A well-adjusted, me. I was a well-adjusted curate
New rules were afoot in the city, too. Everything seemed to be developing. At first, the diocese wanted to sell the church and have it torn down, oh my heavens, to make way for eager Eatons and callous Cadillac Fairview and all the rest of those big spenders. But the parish held on, gained wide support we did, hired the best lawyers, and had friends in high places. City Hall. Conflicts with the
diocese.
Fisk stayed well behind the helm with a sage hand on the controls.
When a curate's not involved in parish squabbles, about who runs the vestry or the choir, when authority has jitters or just wobbles, and the laity are climbing from the mire, when committees run amok on any subject, and causes are a penny to the time, and theology will tackle any object. Curate's lot is such a happy one. When causes are a penny to the ton, a curate's lot is such a happy one. The ritual is upbeat Disneylandish, as we contemplate an orange or a peach. But the Eucharist is never so outlandish, that the bishop has to threaten to impeach. While the dodgers of the draft are sleeping soundly, and the dancers of the gates cause quite a hum. Then diocesan committee sniff profoundly. A curate's lot is not a happy one. When dancers of the gates cause quite a hum. A curate's lot is not a happy one. It appears that we are all mixed up curmudgeons, to try to keep the wiggle and the wag. When Fred Miller in the nave releases pigeons, and Ken Maxton in the dark salutes the flag, and developers exploit with approbation, it's time to gaze at navels in the sun. So to Boston for a psychic affirmation. No, the primal scream is not for everyone. It's time to gaze at navels in the sun. So the primal scream is not for everyone.
That Bishop Barnesworthy be the titular rector. He then appointed Ken Maxted as his vicar. Right about the same time was then a terrible thing happened. Holy Trinity was severely damaged by the fire that consumed the Eaton's warehouses, but the heroic firemen saved the church. The time of rebuilding coincided with very difficult relations with the bishop. The community struggled to keep lay leadership in worship and parish life, even with the presence of the Book of Alternative Services and the clergy doing everything. It surely is obvious that conflicts with the diocese continue. years, there were 7, count them, 7 diocesan commissions to deal with Holy Trinity. Before we could have a new incumbent, the parish had to accept the control of a joint board of management. But Jack Adam, he succeeded Ken Maxted, brought in a period marked by renewal in social justice action and renewal in liturgy. We went in for inclusive language in a big, big way. But for about 7 years, the Board of Management, we called it personagement, continued to control our buildings until in 1991, Holy Trinity was more or less free at last.
Thank God Almighty, we're free at last!
We lobbied for everything. Refugees, housing, street people, and worked with all of the inner city agencies. The team supporting Margaret Fraser eventually produced Trinity Hospice. The music in the church took on new life under the leadership of Becca Whitla, and lots of new hymn writers sprang forth. In 1993, Sally Boyles came as the first woman incumbent. And all of these new initiatives were part of our changing times, and Holy Trinity has never looked back.
Hardly ever.
And it was then that one of the greatest changes in our history took place. Conflict with the diocese abated.
We are the very models of the Holy Trinitarian. We've information, ritual, and latitudinarian, a mixture of the NDP and Catholic Salvationist, to which you add a dollop of the social exhibitionist. We love the board historical and work to end the party feud, to decorate the church with colored quotes full of Beatitudes. We lace our modern ritual, dogmatical, and homilic with radical theology and social gospel politics.
Radical theology and social gospel politics. Radical theology and social gospel politics. Radical theology and social gospel politics.
We love to give our energy to groups on parish mission night, to sharpen out some arrows for diocesan commission fight. In short, it matters ritual and latitudinarian. We are the very models of the Holy Trinitarian.
In short, it matters ritual and latitudinarian. We are the very models of the Holy Trinitarian.
We want the men and women in the pews to be aggressivists and use inclusive language just to show that we're progressivists. We're oddly pleased that all can see our massive inclusivity. And if some feel left out, it is their narrow exclusivity. In short, we have the makings of the Christian liberationists, the recipe for gospel and the people if you want a list, to which you add the essence of the priesthood and the laity. And mix a little batter from the thought of Mary daily.
And mix a little batter from the thought of Mary daily. And mix a little batter from the thought of Mary daily. And mix a little batter from the thought of Mary daily.
Our apostolic mothers led a Nora matriarchal, monocarist church despite its temper and hierarchical. In short, it matters ritual and latitudinarian. We are the very models of the Holy Trinitarian.
In short, it matters ritual and latitudinarian. We are the very models of the Holy Trinitarian.
You push the people present and have many readers not appear. You move the pews and altar to the midst, so all have got to hear. You make a hollow square, a holy circle for the liturgy. and burn your clerics color for a liberated clergy. You spurn the holy microphone to orate in a muffled talk and lengthen out announcements in unendable kerfuffledom. You spurn the board of management with flourish of your unburned hair. And you burn a sacred candle at the shrine of Merriman, Swale.
And burn a sacred candle at the shrine of Merriman, Swale. Burn a sacred candle at the shrine of Merriman, Swale. Burn a sacred candle at the shrine of Merriman, Swale.
We put some clogs of feet of children noisy at the Eucharist, and watch them run and shout, and almost never do we shake a fist. In short, in matters ritual and latitudinarian, we are the very models of the Holy Trinitarian.
In short, in matters ritual and latitudinarian, we are the very models of the Holy Trinitarian.
We chose a parish priest and then you guys have been in common, and then we're quite determined that her postures kept recumbent, or at least within the shadows of the Eucharist on Sunday. Then we overload day for days and evening started Monday. We glossed the sacred wording of the book of other services, and water my remarks before we danced like whirling dervishes. We break the bread on Sundays from a loaf that's big and whopping. Process around the altar with the lippy-bunny offering.
Process around the altar with the lippy-bunny offering. Process around the altar with the lippy-bunny offering. Process around the altar with the lippy-bunny offering.
We're starting up a brotherhood of feminist novitiate, women as successors to diocesan archiepiscopate. In short, it matters ritual and latitudinarian, we are the very models of the Holy Trinitarian.
In short, it matters ritual and latitudinarian, we are the very models of the Holy Trinitarian.
Our intercessions take a cook's tour of the world's in trouble spots, the unemployed, the affluent, the healthy, and the other crops. The quiet of the pieces now exchanged with noise of thunder, as we kiss and greet each other and plan meetings without number. We share our soul's commitment both in theory and facticity, not to totter to our graves without potential intacticity. We're really glad we're drinking at this mainstream that is running free. And that is why we're badly at the Church of Holy Trinity.
And that is why we're badly at the Church of Holy Trinity. And that is why we're badly at the Church of Holy Trinity. And that is why we're badly at the Church of Holy Trinity.
We shout our virtues to the sky and cry enthusiastically. Think we have the corner on all things ecclesiastical. In short, it matters ritual and latitudinarian, we are the very models of the Holy Trinitarian.
In short, it matters ritual and latitudinarian, we are the very models of the Holy Trinitarian.
So there it is. Sally Boyles is with us. And maybe she can tell us what it's like being her. Still I'm called Sally, was good little Sally.
The present is a gift to be shared.